welcome to this special fifth dimensional relationship video clip. I think back in 2012 when this mass consciousness asked to have fifth dimensional living, little did many people realise how difficult fifth dimensional living would be, or exactly what that would encompass. And I know for some people there was the way out stuff of aliens landing and world peace happening overnight, and people burying themselves into bunkers, and we had the Hadron Collider factor coming in, which is all sorts of thoughts and theories about what 2012 would actually be like. But actually it's been a bit of a slow burn, and it's been a process that we've had to see happening. And so I want to talk about the micro aspect of humanity. So the micro aspect of humanity, the bigger things, the global things, saw events that polarized countries. So when we think about what happened in Egypt in that square, it started an evolution in communities and mindsets of different countries, where they too campaigned to have the tyranny that they had been under deposed or removed. And we saw that coming right the way through the African nations into the Mediterranean processes of the world. And we've seen people as nation galvanizing themselves and creating change. And that's that whole different aspect of the fifth dimensional living. We want something better. On a micro scale, on our own personal scale, we've been sort of confronted with the fact that we want something better, that we want to make changes, we want to create something different, we want our relationships to be different. And so change has come in, or been creeping in, for lots and lots of people over that time. Now for me, when I look at my client base, and when I look at the global aspect, I look at the micro aspect, I can really see how as a race here on earth, as the human race, we seem to be changing. We seem to be changing in the kind of relationships. And of course my husband, he does come out with these amazing little catchphrases. And he said to me the other day, intelligence is the new sex, Phil. That's where it's all to be. And so what I've noticed over this year in particular is that archetypal relationships are changing, and that is on the global macro scale and on the micro scale. So on the macro level, here we have people campaigning for same-sex marriage, civil rights. We've got people, at both ends of the scale, people suing people for, tripping them up on the street, but we've also got the absolute human right aspect coming in. The relationship aspect over the last few months has really been polarized. I would say from about March this year it's really kicked in, because not only do we have same-sex relationships, but we have relationships that are changing in terms of the male-female, female-female, male-male. And by that I mean it's what people want out of a relationship. I think there is a trend or a move towards people needing their own space. The archetypal process that we were maybe brought up with, I know I was brought up with, man meets woman, they get married, they go forth and create more humans. That is maybe not why people are getting together now. People are getting together because they feel emotionally stimulated, intellectually stimulated. The physical aspect is maybe not quite as important. I know in some relationships it's actually more important to have their own space. So more and more we have couples who are living together regardless of gender, but they have their own bedroom space, they need their own space, they still have a really loving, energetic, enigmatic relationship between each other, because it is the meeting of the minds. And this really conquers, conquers, that is the right word, it conquers the age barrier, the sex barrier, the gender barrier. It doesn't matter. It seems to me that fifth dimensional living has brought about a change in how we view ourselves as individuals on that micro level, as individuals, and on that macro level. We no longer feel we need to go along with the crowd. We no longer need to find someone to heal us or to support us because we're doing all the work ourselves. We are creating our own healing path. So we're looking for equals now. We're looking for someone that maybe complements us more rather than someone who's going to save us. And that's a huge phrase that Mike and I have used actually since the Christchurch quakes. Well, nobody can save us, barring us. We have to save ourselves. And so that's what we've been doing since the quakes here in Christchurch. I want you to look at the relationships, be they personal or friendships. They will have changed. They will have changed quite dramatically since 2012. And I am sure there are some behaviours out there that you actually find quite intolerable now, that you just wouldn't invite into your life now. Those kinds of friendships are over. Those kinds of friendships don't serve a purpose. Again, I want to come to Facebook, because Facebook polarizes friendships. You're either a friend or you're defriended, and oh my goodness, if you defriend somebody, well, you do get it in the neck. But why would you? Why should you? Is it important? Was it a friendship? Do we actually have these friends in our lives, or is it just the number of likes? I think that in relationships that we are creating, and this is not just friendships, but relationships with outside society, I think you really have to think about what serves a purpose in your life. I think you have to think about what pushes your buttons and why it pushes your buttons, and you still have to do healing work on that. So if someone does defriend you on Facebook and you get really upset, then you need to do some work on that. Why would you be upset? Was there a relationship there, or is it time to move on? If someone has come into your life in which the relationship is just purely intellectual and emotional and there is no physical aspect, is that a bad thing? Is that something that you can live with really quite comfortably? Is mind food and mind space far more gratifying than a physical connection? Is it time for us as a human race to go through the process of mind over matter, and matter being the body? The mind is a hugely powerful place. It's a place in which we reside constantly. We think non-stop. It's a process that we do consciously and unconsciously, automatically. We are thinking. I'm thinking while I'm giving you this broadcast. So think about what is happening. The dynamic for relationships are changing. If you have friends that no longer sleep in the same bedroom, well, that's okay if that works for them. It's not that their relationship is falling apart, disintegrating, deteriorating. It's not that process. It is just that that's what works for them. And who's to say that that's wrong? We cannot judge their process. If we have a relationship with someone who's either older or younger than us, then again, who are we to judge? If that works for them, that's the cool thing. Fifth dimensional relationships are difficult. And I've been working with people over the last year trying to cope with a fifth dimensional relationship. For some, they don't even know how they managed to get into the relationship. They didn't see it coming. They did not feel that they were really looking for anyone. And out of nowhere, this relationship has blossomed. But what does that actually mean? What does it mean? I don't understand it. It's not archetypal. It's not the man meets woman and go forth and, create more humans. It's something bigger. It's something deeper. It's actually brought up some vulnerabilities for some people, because they may not be ready to move into a fifth dimensional relationship, or they might find it difficult in terms of being judged by other people. Is this unusual? Is it right? Again, it's about coming back to you and what feels right for you. That's the key process. And remember, you've been doing healing work. We've been doing the Eckhart Tolle, the Wayne Dwyer, the Doreen Virtues, the, Louise L. Hay stuff, my stuff. People will be coming to my classes and changing. They have been changing. And I love that. I love to see people changing. So your vibrational ping is different now to what it was. And I always put that analogy together like a submarine. If we are all submarines and we're sending out a sonar ping, we've all seen it on the movies. I just love The Red October, is my favourite example of that. And we're pinging each other. We'll find a different ping in return. Our vibration is going out, touching other people's vibrations, and you're bringing back a new kind of energy, a new kind of relationship, or friendships that have a different purpose. And I've just done a whole series on CTV of friendships, which are a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And that seems to have really resonated with you out there. You're suddenly looking back on your life and giving thanks to the people who have been in your life for a reason, a season, and a lifetime. And when a friendship or a relationship breaks down, look at that with thanks, as painful as it can be and as hard as it can be. And I know I've been through some painful friendship breakups. I always thank them. I always thank them and say, thank you so much for the journey. Thank you so much for the lessons and for making me grow. You will always grow. So fifth dimensional relationships, where are they going? I think anything goes. I think on the macro level, on a global level, we are campaigning that love is love regardless of who is with who and what gender or sex that happens to be. We're seeking love, and we're finding love in the most unusual ways now. And it's different. It's different from our mother and father. It is different from what would be written down in any book or law. It is about human nature and human capacity to love, to be in love, to experience love, and to find love in different ways and different methods. So if you find yourself in a relationship which you don't quite understand, it doesn't fit the mold, it's not archetypal, then lift your vibration. Your ping has gone out and someone has answered with a very similar ping back, and they will have come into your life for a potent reason, a lesson that only you will understand and only you will be able to conquer. But there will be a good outcome. And it doesn't matter if it doesn't fit the molds or concepts that we have out there of what is right or wrong, black or white. Life has grey. And I suppose if we think about 50 Shades of Grey, well, we had Mr. Grey in there. And I think he represented a very different kind of relationship, opened our eyes to a different concept of love, a kind of love. I don't know, I've yet to see that adventure. So think about where you're going. If you're in a relationship which maybe isn't serving a purpose, then it's time to put out a different ping. It's time for you to think about what you are and who you are, and if you're ready for a change, then you need to do that vibrationally. Quite often people will come to me and say, oh, I just keep attracting the same thing, the same kind of person, the same kind of relationship. So it's time to put out a different sonar ping. Think about what you would like in a relationship and have that manifest. Feel positive that you'll be able to manifest that into your life and see what that sonar ping brings back. Hopefully something of equal value that will help support you. So I hope there's something in this little clip. I just felt I wanted to do a little bit something about fifth dimensional relationships. And if you're in a fifth dimensional relationship, then it's all good. It doesn't have to conform. It doesn't have to be the same as everyone else. If you need your space, you need your space. That's the deal. You are human. Create the best human experience. Again, on the global scale, we're still being confronted. We're being confronted with our relationship to our neighbours, to the mass exodus when we look at Syria. We're being confronted in our moral standing, in our moral rights. When we look at ISIS and we look at the disaffected youth, the youth that feel they want to belong to a community, even if it's a community that is causing havoc in people's lives and mayhem and death and bloodshed. It's the feeling of community. It's a strange mix. It's a strange mix. 2012 has brought in this vibrational shift for we, the human race. And we're changing the aspect of relationships quite dramatically. So, I don't know what's going to be in our future, but we have to look to see what's happening out there to see what's happening in here. So always take time to look at the news, see where we're going as a human race, see what our needs are, and our needs are to be part of a community, regardless of the type or the kind. And we want to be loved. And you will find that community and will find that love in whatever shape or form we are attracted to. So I'd love to hear your feedback. You can email me on info@phyllisbrown.co.nz. I will put a little tag on the video clip. And please feel free to share. If you have found it helpful, then please feel free to share this video clip with your friends, your Facebook, Google+, Twitter, whatever medium is out there. We're all global. It's all good. Until the next time, take care for now and namaste.